I'm going to give you some thoughts on the Olam HaMalbush, world of the garment, how I perceive it there, envision it, think about it. How it was a original thought of mine that that's the way the world was. I always thought the world was square, and within that square came the circle. This underlying foundation of the world, of the garment, the Olam HaMalbush, is pre-existent to the writings of the Arizal. The Arizal only talks about from the world of Zimzum on. The world of the garment is the world previous to the Zimzum. The world of the Zimzum is like a kadur. The world of the garment, the Malbush, is like a cube or a rectangle, not a cube, but a square, that later on that circle appears within. Now, that square, to me, is the letter Mem. The Mem Sophie, the final Mem. That level of being in the Mem is the origin of the 13 attributes of mercy. It is also the origin of two names of Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, that start off the 13 attributes of mercy. In Atbash, each of these Yud-Kei Vav-Keis is 300. So we get 600 there. And that 600 is that final Mem. That square is the final Mem, and it is the origin from the number 600. We also have that square folded into two parts. This is my concept of the original two-ness, because the original Malbush was folded in half, very much like a talis katan, very much like a talis katan. In fact, I think it is a talis katan. And these two halves each have a Yud-Kei Vav-Kei in each half. The original Malbush was completely godliness. So God folded over and left an empty space in the other half of this folded over square. This is where all our further development occurs, in that empty half of the square. So the folded over part is it's kind of like an atik, a replica, a copy. It's also a Kabbalah, a parallelism. This 300 and 300 is shown on the two sides of the tefillin, which is a cube having faces that are squared. So the 13 Mem mems might even be the 6 squares of the tefillin, each plus 2 plus 1 for all, giving 13 squared final mems on the 2 tefillins of the head and the arm. But the representation of the 600 is obviously in the 2 shins of the head tefillin. This space, I always thought that the world was kind of flat and squared, and how theoretical thought can bring down into consciousness, into physical reality. I see this as a tennis court. I see this HaMalbush as a tennis court with 2 parallel sides and the middle determining the fold. The kadur is the ball. The racket face is a flat parallel like a mem. All these things come from original consciousness. And when one plays there, one returns to original consciousness. See? So here we are, the 13th letter. We are in a square of 600. We are at the origins of the world. And I just want to use this as an initiation into the world of the HaMalbush, previous to the Zimzum, previous to the Kavs. This is my original thing, that everything takes place within this mem. These tzitzis that hang from the corners, the Mishnah of Shanayim Ohazin, 2 people hold on to the talus. The division of the talus comes from this area, so deep. The 39 wrappings of the tzitzis, of the 7, the 8, the 11, and the 13, represent the 39 labors on Mishkan, the Shabbos, forbidden labors, and the extra 1 kind of godliness itself, all find its root in the original HaMalbush, the original garment of the square, final mem, the fountain of water, which everything comes out of. The atbash of the mem is yud. All these high levels of consciousness see the final mem for what it is, as itself